Thank you, Chairman. Good morning. Well, BizClim is, as Pierre said, is an EU-funded program that seeks to support improvements in the business and investment climate in Africa, but also in the Caribbean and the Pacific. We are demand-driven. However, I think I can make my presentation using 4 categories of interventions. The first one is what we call public-private dialogue. We have been very active both at the EU-Africa level, at the Pan-African level, at the regional level, and also at the national level. So we have helped countries to improve the dialogue between the private and the public sector. At the EU-Africa level, I think you are familiar with the EU-Africa Business Forum. We have been involved in its organization since 2006, and next year we will organize the 5th one. It's a high-level meeting. It is part of the EU-Africa partnership, joint strategy and partnership. So it's really an official event, and next time we will have all the main key players, both from the EU side. We will have President Van Rompuy, we will have most of the commissioners, we will have the Vice President Tajani, etc., to demonstrate that this forum is important for the Commission to listen to the African partners. And we have other platforms, such as the ICT Best Practice Forum, where we have also collaborated with the private sector to organize the forum in Burkina Faso. At the local level, we support regional fora, such as the ECOWAS Investment Forum. We have also supported the COMESA Investment Forum. By the way, the ECOWAS started actually in Brussels. The first one we supported its launch. Now it's an independent forum. It's even financed by the private sector, but it is still an ECOWAS forum, very much supported by the ECOWAS Commission. So this is in terms of public-private partnership. I will not dwell into the details. It's simply to say that we are very much in favor of such a dialogue between the public and the private sector. We do in studies, both diagnostic studies, but also feasibility studies and the assessment of investment opportunities. I will just mention maybe 2 examples that I consider a success in terms of speed of how things have been done. We have worked with the ECOWAS Commission to assess the feasibility of setting up an investment guarantee fund or agency. I will not, again, go into the details, but the study has been done, it has been validated, the decision has been taken to create a fund and to entrust the management of this fund to the ATI, which is the Africa Trade Insurance Agency that is supported and launched by the World Bank and IFC, and I think BIG as well. We have other studies that hopefully one day will lead to some concrete implementations. I will not go into the details again, but just mention the Abidjan-Lagos corridor, where we have, with the private sector, developed a program for this corridor. In terms of reforms, we have worked with UHADA, especially to draft and get approved a new uniform law on cooperatives. We have worked with COMESA on double taxation agreements, and I think that exercise is ongoing, and COMESA countries are negotiating double taxation agreements. They have identified non-COMESA countries to negotiate agreements with them. In terms of capacity building, we usually provide support to improve the capacity of both regional economic communities and private sector organizations. We are working very, I would say, a lot with the COMESA Secretariat and with the COMESA Regional Investment Agency. I think Pierre mentioned the rating and benchmarking of countries. Based on the global investment promotion benchmarking, we are supporting actually the COMESA countries to improve their ranking. We are also improving what we call the investor servicing system of the investment promotion agencies of COMESA. We are actually setting up investor tracking systems in a number of investment promotion agencies. So that is a support that we have been given to investment promotion agencies and regional economic communities. We do some training on PPPs. We have done some training in Swaziland for the SADC region on PPPs. We go, of course, beyond just training. We have helped Swaziland to define a PPP policy, and even beyond the policy to define implementation modalities. We have also organized symposia on bioenergy, and I think this one is quite interesting, and we will continue working on setting up or implementing the recommendations of this symposium in the SADC region and a similar symposium in West Africa. The main recommendation by the private sector people and by the NEPAD group is to actually set up an incubation hub for bioenergy. I have publications on this. I think we have quite an interesting concept where investors are there and they are really waiting for setting up such an incubation hub and an incubation fund to develop and finance bioenergy projects, and especially meet address what is called the innovation valley death, which is bringing innovation and research to the market and to the commercialization of this research and development. So in just one word, what our approach has always been to, first of all, be very open to the requests and the applications that come from not only the governments and regional economic communities, but also, and I would say mainly from the private sector. We work a lot with the private sector, and then we bring governments and the private sector together, either in public-private dialogue fora, such as business fora, conferences, symposia, etc., or we can work together to undertake studies and even help to implement certain studies. I have a number of examples where, for example, in West Africa, in the French-speaking countries, we are now actually continuing the work that has been started by UNCTAD to simplify, harmonize procedures, and automatize procedures in that region. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.